starts now.
Welcome into First Alert Weather Extra. Chief Meteorologist Wes Wyatt. The big story as we start the week, a front. By definition, we still call them cold fronts during the summer months. Although they don't bring extremely cold air, you will notice a cool down across parts of the area tonight. In fact, we're tracking some heavy rain at the moment that's impacting parts of our area. Let's get right to it. Our First Alert weather headlines for this evening. We've got the cooler air possible overnight, storm south, and it's getting active in the tropics. We could have a new tropical storm soon, and we'll show you where that's at and where it is going. Here's a look at First Alert AccuTrack radar, and storms right now, well, they've weakened quite a bit in some areas. We're looking right now at East Alabama starting off. You can see some showers here around Jacksonville. Let's get in really close here as we track this wet weather. Here's Highway 431 here, Anniston at the bottom of the screen. A lot of this rain north of town. Our weather watcher out in Oxford checked in a few moments ago, and we showed on TV the weather watcher reports had a temperature in the 70s, so even though we didn't see much rain, we did enjoy a nice cool down. I know earlier today, if you checked in with the Good Day team, we had a little bit of shower activity tracking across the area, but this is pretty much behaving like we expected. We saw a greater chance north to start the day, and then we're seeing that chance of rain sliding further south. But watch out in here. Still could be some lightning. Here's one. Let's track this. Show some first alert times. This storm that's right over Piedmont Springs at 6:37. You can see the Couch area at 6:48 on this particular storm. The motion to the southwest there at 9 miles per hour as that system tracks on to the south. The 10,000-foot top with that. It's certainly, I mean, we had some storms over the weekend, 30,000-foot plus tops there, so it is a weaker downpour, and a lot of that rain we saw across Shelby County, it was really coming down here across parts of Shelby County, and some of these showers back into St. Clair County have weakened quite a bit. Check this out. You can see around Chelsea, picked up over 3 inches of rain in some of these areas here around Chelsea. And you get back in, there's Oak Mountains right here. So pretty much Oak Mountain areas to the south is where we saw some of the higher rainfall amounts, and there was a flood advisory, but that's been canceled for Shelby County. Had a little bit of rain finally around the Hoover area, but just didn't see a lot there around Birmingham back towards Hoover. There's still some locations we haven't seen much rain at all. Check this out right there getting on of I-22. A little shower just popped up. Notice that right there around Fultondale. So giving you the first alert here for a little shower. Still dry in Gardendale. I was in Warrior today and it was hot there. I tell you, temperatures in the 90s around the area still, but at least we don't have any triple digits. Some of the stronger storms at the moment happening back in here across West Alabama. Let's get into Tuscaloosa. We checked in with Brian Henry on the news at 6. And he was at campus here at the University of Alabama, and you could definitely tell that the sky was turning quite overcast and quite ominous. But we've had some heavy rain, some storms, and quite a bit of lightning. Look at the total strikes in here, over 100 strikes over the past 15 minutes here across parts of Tuscaloosa County. So I'm talking about Duncanville, Taylorville, back towards Halls, and areas as far north as Tuscaloosa there. Get ready. You really need to be indoors if you're in Cottondale, anywhere out here around 5 points into the city of Tuscaloosa, back towards Foster's. You're close enough to be struck by lightning, so make sure you are indoors. And that heavy rain also down into Moundville. Check it out. We're getting some of that rain along Highway 69. That is a rough drive there along 69 right now, and the split here back towards Highway 14, back into Akron. You can see we got some rain around Wedgeworth and tracking some storms around Bolagie. We've had quite a bit of rain here around places like Bolagie and Forkland this afternoon and this evening, but all this wet weather is to the south. It's all going to start lifting north again as we get into the day tomorrow. We're going to be tracking that wet weather as it builds in, and then of course we're going to be talking about the tropics. That's one of the things coming up right here as we continue. And what else is on the way here on First Alert Weather Extra? Well, we've got the 4th of July weekend. Will we have any storms around? I'll let you know. We got the beach forecast and this hurricane life cycle, these tropical systems that we see during this time of the year. How do they evolve? What are the different stages of growth? We're going to get into the science coming up as we continue right here on First Alert Weather Extra. Stay with us.
When 6 on Your Side investigates, the issues that directly impact you matter most to us.
That's why we're getting answers on rising prices and how you can save some money.
And being another set of eyes looking out for your kids and your family.
Getting to the bottom of health and billing issues that may be hidden in the fine print.
How events nationwide are affecting you here at home.
WBRC Fox 6 is always here on your side, ready to help. This is why 6 on Your Side investigates.
These are your mornings, and Good Day Alabama is built to start them right. The only station staying local on all platforms all morning long. In your community, giving you a deeper perspective with the largest team dedicated to you. Showing new stories from overnight, helping you get through your day. With First Alert weather and traffic, getting to the point, not wasting your time. These are your mornings. Prepare for a good day. Prepare with Good Day Alabama.
When moments turn severe, how do you find clarity?
This is your First Alert from the WBRC Fox 6 weather team. We're with you as we prepare for this threat.
In a season of constant change, when you need to know first, when you need to prepare, only one team gives you the First Alert wherever you are. A trusted team staying ahead of what's next in your neighborhood. Stay alert. Stay with the First Alert weather team. Live, new, and on your side, beginning at 9 p.m. In a day filled with clutter and noise, WBRC Fox 6 News breaks down what you need to know before anyone else. With new updates, live and on the scene, answers for your money and your livelihood, with 6 on Your Side investigates. And your First Alert for the hours and days ahead with the WBRC First Alert weather team. On your favorite platforms every night. WBRC Fox 6 News at 9 and 10. On your side.
All right, it is time for a tropical update here as we continue on First Alert Weather Extra. We now have potential tropical cyclone number 2. And I had a viewer email me one day, said, Wes, I thought you called them cyclones in other parts of the world. And that's true. All tropical lows or all low pressure systems in general have that term, a cyclone. They have cyclonic flow, and that's why we apply that term. Even in the wintertime when you see low pressure systems with cold fronts, we call those mid-latitude cyclones. So just because we're talking about a potential tropical cyclone, that's exactly what it is. All low pressure systems are cyclones, if you see that. But typically we label tropical systems in the Atlantic Basin. We go to tropical depression, tropical storm, and then hurricane. But this is a new product, or the most recent product. The Hurricane Center, if there's a high confidence that we could see something, they will label potential tropical cyclone, and then we see some of those forecast tracks and where we think it's going based on the latest model guidance. And this is the system we've been telling you about over the past several days. And bottom line here, we expect this to become a tropical depression. First stage of development is a warm core low, and then if it continues to intensify, a name is applied. If it becomes a tropical storm, the next name on the list is Bonnie, and you can see by the intensity forecast, we do expect this to become a tropical storm and possibly a Category 1 hurricane. And this is one of those systems, the model data has done an incredible job, or at least it's really been in agreement, which is what we love to see here in the forecast. And since we started talking about this last week, the global data has kept this over the Caribbean, and we still see that scenario. We see this staying to the south. So 4th of July weekend coming up. Here's what you need to know if you're traveling to the Keys. Talk to someone today going on a trip to Jamaica right there. You can see there's Jamaica, Cayman Islands, Cozumel. So with respect to traveling out of the country, Bahamas, if you're traveling along the Gulf Coast, this is going to stay to the south at least for this weekend. There's Friday, there's Saturday. After that, it looks like maybe a landfall that may weaken over Central America. We'll watch it just in case it decides to do that. But at this point, I'm not too worried about any surprises, at least with respect to the 4th of July weekend. We'll keep an eye on it. We're also going to be watching where we've had a lot of this unsettled weather. There were some big storms along the coast over the weekend. Those developing back in, this disturbance back in towards the northwest Gulf of Mexico, may become better organized over the next few days. But if you see that and notice a lot of updates on what's going on there, or hear rumblings about something in the Gulf of Mexico, it's a weak system, very low chance of development, plus it's moving away from our region, and it's going to be moving back in towards South Texas, and perhaps it may run out of time there before it's able to develop. But that's what we're going to be talking about. And again, scattered showers and storms are in our forecast here over the next several days. But as we track the tropics, it's hurricane season, and hurricane season is really just getting started. We don't reach the peak of hurricane season until we get into the month of August. Here's meteorologist Matt Daniel. Tell us a little bit more about the meteorology involving the tropical weather and the life cycle of tropical systems.
All right, the tropics starting to get a little active. We're watching a couple of areas for possible development. So let's talk about the tropics in general. When do we usually see it get really active? And what does it mean when we say it's a tropical depression, a tropical storm, hurricane? So we'll dive into that, but here's what we're looking at with the hurricane activity by month. Normally June, July, fairly quiet months. We might see a couple of named storms form, but the season really ramps up as we go into the end of August into September, and technically the peak of the season is on September 10th, and it can still get pretty active in October and early November, but then it definitely starts to quiet down late November as pretty much we get into that winter pattern. The temperatures and the ocean levels start to cool off, and usually you start to see a little bit more wind shear, which would disrupt any of those tropical systems from developing. So we're still very early, and it is forecast to become an active season. So let's talk about the stages of a tropical cyclone. I intentionally wrote tropical cyclone because you hear the word cyclone is very confusing. It's just an area of low pressure. A hurricane is technically a cyclone. Low pressure over land can be considered a cyclone. So it's just a basic definition. And sometimes before they even form, the National Hurricane Center will call it a potential tropical cyclone, just to designate, hey, we're watching this and we're going to issue some advisories, warnings, and a forecast for that. So here's what usually happens. You got to have moisture. You got to have clouds develop. You got to have an area of low pressure develop. And once that low closes off and it has winds less than 40 miles per hour, less than 39 miles per hour, we will classify it as a tropical depression. So it's got to form a little bit of a circulation. It's usually fairly weak, but that's the beginning phase of this becoming a hurricane. Once it starts to get a little stronger, better organized, we see more rising air intensifies. It builds more storms towards the center of the storm. Those cloud tops get a little bit colder. You get more wind, some stronger wind speeds up to 39 to 73 miles per hour. And that's when it becomes a tropical storm. And usually storms will get a name once it becomes a tropical storm. We do not name tropical depressions. And then once the wind speeds increase to about 74 or greater, it becomes a hurricane. And of course, hurricanes are very strong. You start getting that eye, some sinking air in the center of that storm. And obviously the more vivid, more open that eye is, the stronger that storm becomes. And once we have a hurricane, that's when we use the Saffir-Simpson scale. We'll say it's a category 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and these are when they start to really cause some big issues. Finally, you might have heard the term a major hurricane. Well, a major hurricane is just simply a category 3, 4, or 5 storm. So we're talking about wind speeds greater than 115 miles per hour. And when you have a major hurricane, you can expect some devastating to catastrophic damage. And just a reminder, when it comes to these systems and their classifications, it's mainly based on their wind speeds. But as you probably know, when it comes to tropical systems, there's definitely a lot more to them than just wind. You got the power of water, storm surge, heavy inland flooding, coastal flooding. There's just a lot of issues, even some tornadoes in some of those storms as well. So here's a look at that scale. Once again, category 1, wind speeds of 74 to 95 miles per hour. A category 2, 96 to 110 miles per hour. Cat 3, 111 to 129 miles per hour. And then when you get to that 4 or 5, greater than 130, you can see some pretty intensive amounts of catastrophic damage along those coastal regions, right along that eye wall. That's where you get the strongest wind speeds. And of course, as soon as that tropical system makes landfall, it starts to weaken because it loses that energy source of that warm water to strengthen on. So that hopefully explains how it works. You have an area of low pressure or a tropical wave. It becomes a tropical depression, and then it gets a name if it becomes a tropical storm. And we could see a named storm later on this week. We'll be watching it right here on Fox 6.
All right, time to check in on that forecast for the weekend. If you're traveling down to the Gulf Coast, here's Mickey with an update.
Well, let's take a look at your beach forecast. If you're headed down to the Gulf of Mexico, we do have a moderate risk of moderate rip current threat, I should say, with the Gulf water temperature at 86 degrees. So be careful. There's a little disturbance in the Gulf of Mexico that could be developing over the next few days, but it could make some rough seas for mariners. So be careful there, but just scattered showers. That takes us into Wednesday. Temperature readings in the 80s to 90s, and just hit and miss showers and thunderstorms during the entire week. If we take a look at the Gulf Shores 7-day forecast, pretty much covered up with a rain chance, isn't it? Highs in the 80s, overnight lows in the upper 70s, but a good chance of rain Wednesday through Friday. We get into the weekend, still a 60% chance, and it finally tapers off about the time when folks' vacation is over with. If you're going to the Smoky Mountains, well, not such a high rain chance for the next few days. We do get into the weekend for Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. We're up to about a 50 to 60% chance of getting wet there as well. And if you're out and about, just pay attention to your First Alert weather app. If you're near the water, hanging out with the kids, it'll let you know if there's lightning nearby or storms. And while you're there, snap a picture and share it with us. We can feature it right here on Weather Extra.
All right, thanks a lot there, Mickey. And coming up, we're going to talk more about our forecast. At least no hurricanes expected at this point along the Gulf Coast this weekend. Typical summer stuff. We'll see scattered afternoon storms, typical beach weather that you'd see going into July. We'll have more on our local weather and after the break as we continue right here. You are watching First Alert Weather Extra.
At West Shore Home, we pride ourselves on being the fastest and most convenient option for homeowners who are looking for a new shower or bath project. Today, Joe and I are going to look at some projects, why they're so popular, and how we can offer you some extra savings right now.
Yeah, well, Kirsten, the big question out there is why are so many people choosing to remodel their shower or bath right now?
Joe, right now homeowners across America are looking for ways to reinvest and build value in their homes. Replacing your shower or bath is a great way to do that. For folks who call in right now, we're offering some great savings with our 4th of July flash sale. You can lock in that price and get limited time long-term financing of 0% APR for 48 months. And on top of that, for anyone who calls in now, we'll take an additional $1,500 off your shower or bath project.
Wow, it seems like the price of everything else keeps going up, but you're saying for anybody that calls in now, they can lock in their price and get 0% APR for 48 months. That's amazing. Now, Kirsten, for a project like this, they probably have to put some money down, right?
They definitely don't. So many people think when they're going to do a project like this, they have to have thousands of dollars saved up for a down payment. That's simply not the case.
So you're saying they can start their project now and not have to worry about paying anything out of pocket. That's incredible. Now, a lot of people might be wondering, what do one of these projects look like when they're finished? Can you give us an example?
This homeowner wanted something that was safer and more accessible. We came in and installed a brand new walk-in shower. The best part is they were able to take advantage of our long-term financing. That's 0% APR for 48 months. And just as a reminder, anyone who calls in right now can get an additional $1,500 off their project.
Wow, Kirsten, thanks so much. Folks, it does not get any easier than this. Call in now to get 0% APR for 48 months. And for a limited time, they're taking $1,500 off every shower and bath project. Don't miss this offer. Call West Shore Home now.
All right, welcome back to First Alert Weather Extra. Chief Meteorologist Wes White. I want to go back over to radar here as we track some of these storms impacting the area. We've had some big lightning producers. We'll start out here in Greene County, and it's been kind of interesting today. A lot of this rain is just hugging I-59 roughly in areas along the interstate and south because there's a boundary that has set up in here. And I mean, this wet weather, it is struggling to build north. Now to the south, we've been covered up, but Greene County here, areas right when you cross the river there on I-20-59, that's when you run into some of that heavy rain down into Sumter County. There's been some intense lightning. Rain kind of breaks off. You get over towards the Green Track exit in Utah, not seeing a lot, but Knoxville points south and into Hale County, it is pouring right now. Moundville, back in towards Taylorville. Check it out, Duncanville, and could be some gusty winds in there. That is a strong storm. Let's check the track on this, and some of that heavy rain you can see showing at least through 7:18. Some of those first alert times for that heavy rain moving on through, drifting generally to the south, but a lot of this has been kind of chaotic in motion this afternoon. And also notice here where it's quite toasty. I know we haven't seen much rain across northern Tuscaloosa County, but we're starting to see some of those pop-up showers there around the Lake Ridge area. But that's what's happening in T-Town. We've had some rain not far from the city of Birmingham. We had all that rain down into Shelby County, but look how things have just settled down. The rain's the rains happened and things have stabilized, so now the showers and storms have dissipated, but there's a little bit of rain still hanging on down into, look at that, Chilton County, and that's where we had storms last night. So for the second day in a row, getting some stormy weather. Talladega Springs, back towards Chambers Springs here in Sylacauga. We got the rain coming down at the moment. There's Waldo and Talladega, and may get a little bit of lightning here north of Anniston. Been watching some of these storms here happening around Weaver and back in towards Jacksonville. You can see right there one storm, and let's put some times on there. You can see around the Eastwood area. First alert around 7:12 for that storm. They're moving to the south. So keep an eye out on the First Alert weather app through this evening, that possibility of scattered storms and that chance of rain. It does come back tomorrow in the afternoon. I know we had a little bit of rain as we started today, but we'll see some of that wet weather coming back for our Tuesday afternoon. Here's a look at the next 24 hours, and the rainfall and the wet weather will continue area-wide to just kind of fall apart later on this evening. By midnight, things should be much quieter, and I mentioned some less muggy air dropping in from the north. We'll get a taste of that to start the day. There's a chance places here along the 278 corridor. It's going to feel nice and comfy tomorrow morning, certainly compared to past week when we had the triple-digit temperatures out there. But the dryness, it doesn't last long. I mentioned tomorrow more scattered storms starting around lunchtime. Notice we start to get some pop-ups, and that mugginess quickly builds in. That builds in across those northern counties as well. So plan for that possibility even around Coleman County, perhaps Walker, and again back into parts of West Alabama, the chance for some scattered storms again. And we'll hang on to this rain chance. Typical summertime weather, pretty much seasonal conditions through the rest of the week. But this little slot of less muggy, drier air that's trying to slide in here tonight, you can see that's certainly a nice little surprise, and we'll take it early tomorrow morning. It's probably tomorrow morning's your better time. Get out there, do a little bit of yard work, because that heat level, I know it's not as hot as last week. The mugginess is there, but it is nice to see. Look at the temperatures close to average, which the average high is 90 degrees for this time of the year. So it is nice to see those high temperatures closer to average. And check out Saturday and into Sunday here for the 4th of July weekend. You can see that chance for scattered showers and thunderstorms for this weekend there. It looks like a pretty good chance after about 2 o'clock and into the evening, and we see that a lot. I know we have the Thunder on the Mountain coming up, and the big fireworks show there happening on Monday, and many times we're tracking some of those storms in the afternoon, but a lot of that wet weather for the 4th of July fireworks, we'll see that start to settle down into the evening on Monday. But that's what we're talking about for the weekend. We'll have more on the rest of the week as we continue right here. Another radar check. Stay with us for First Alert Weather Extra.
When 6 on Your Side investigates, the issues that directly impact you matter most to us. This is why 6 on Your Side investigates.
These are your mornings, and Good Day Alabama is built to start them right. The only station staying local on all platforms all morning long. Prepare for a good day. Prepare with Good Day Alabama.
When 6 on Your Side investigates, the issues that directly impact you matter most to us.
That's why we're getting answers on rising prices and how you can save some money.
How events nationwide are affecting you here at home.
WBRC Fox 6 is always here on your side, ready to help. This is why 6 on Your Side investigates.
In a season of constant change, when you need to know first, when you need to prepare, only one team gives you the first alert. A trusted team staying ahead of what's next in your neighborhood. Stay alert. Stay with the First Alert Weather Team.
When 6 on Your Side investigates, the issues that directly impact you matter most to us.
Being another set of eyes looking out for your kids and your family.
This is why 6 on Your Side investigates.
Live, new, and on your side. Beginning at 9 p.m., WBRC Fox 6 News breaks down what you need to know before anyone else on your favorite platforms every night. WBRC Fox 6 News at 9 and 10. On your side.
When 6 on Your Side investigates, the issues that directly impact you matter most to us.
That's why we're getting answers on rising prices and how you can save some money.
This is why 6 on Your Side investigates.
How will the weather impact your roads? The First Alert Weather app has live traffic updates and road conditions for a safer commute. This is why we First Alert.
WBRC Fox 6 News, on your side.
And welcome back to Weather Extra. Chief Meteorologist Wes Wyatt. I want to give a big shout out to Robbie Long and all the folks in Warrior today. I visited the Senior Center and we talked a lot about weather safety, and you notice everybody has a helmet on. The Jefferson County Commission donated a lot of helmets. You know, helmets are a great tool to add to that severe weather safety kit anytime we have active weather, but we gave away some weather radios and helmets. That's the mayor there, Johnny Ragland. Want to thank the mayor for stopping by, but we had a great time, and let me tell you what, they are really talented there. They actually made me a wind chime, and they got the pink tie right. We got little Wes Wyatt here, the flower pot, but had a great time there, and I want to thank all the folks in Warrior for the gifts and for inviting us. We're actually going to Hubbardville tomorrow, so looking forward to that visit, heading over to Fayette County. 7-day forecast. Again, we're tracking a typical late June into July weather setup here. Each day, keep an eye to the sky. There's going to be some afternoon storms. At least we have a chance of rain to cool things off. Afternoon highs close to average, which is 90 degrees, and there will be a chance for scattered storms each day. And want to leave you one more time a check on the radar at the moment, and some of the strongest storms that we have at this time impacting Tuscaloosa County. Rain has settled down in Shelby County. Birmingham, still not seeing a lot there in the downtown area. Most of the storm activity will dissipate here over the next few hours once we lose that peak heating of the day. But we'll talk more about the rest of the week, update you on the tropics tonight on WBRC Fox 6 News. Be sure to check in for updates tonight at 9, 9:30, and 10.